It's time for your daily LSU baseball update with Musso at the box. Now, Matt Musso.
Off and running. Welcome in another edition of Musso at the Box, presented by Gotlit Light Installers. Fired up to have you with me today and fired up for today's show. We are previewing the big one, LSU Arkansas from the box, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Depending on which poll you're looking at, it is a top 5 matchup, but it is definitely a consensus top 10 matchup in the nation between the Tigers and the Hogs. I love when these two teams get together. It is my favorite weekend of the year when it is on the schedule. Now, you have to say that because of all the realignment and things of that nature, but when it's on the schedule, and it is this season, it is my favorite weekend of the year. It's always tightly contested. It is two fan bases that care so much. It's always played in a great venue, whether it's Baum Walker or Alec Box Stadium, and there's major league talent littered on both teams. This year is no different. And you know what? In yesterday's show, we kind of took our first look. We talked about how closely these two teams kind of mirror each other on paper. We're going to do that again here, and also break down this matchup from every single angle and get you out of here with a series prediction. This is a big one, y'all. This is what the back end of the SEC schedule is supposed to feel like. Championship goals at stake, seeding goals at stake, postseason goals at stake, all of it at stake in the box this weekend. Y'all smash the like button if you haven't already. Get subscribed to the YouTube channel and on your favorite podcast app. That's greatly appreciated. Follow on social media, Twitter, X, at Musso Matthew. You can find me on Facebook and on Instagram as well. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. We'll start with our overview of the Arkansas Razorbacks. The Hogs come in 40-9 overall, 17-7 in the SEC. The 40 wins is the most in college baseball. They are ranked as high as number 1 in the country. That is by the Writers Association. As low as number 7. That is by D1 Baseball. Arkansas hits .316 as a team. You compare that to LSU at .306. Arkansas averages 9 runs per game. You compare that to LSU. LSU averages 8 runs per game. Where Arkansas has a big advantage is the long ball. 102 homers for the Hogs, just the 75 for LSU. Man, you flip it over to the pitching to the mound, and Arkansas comes in with a team ERA of 3.75. LSU is at 3.74. The Hogs have an opponent's batting average against of 224. LSU's is 220. LSU has struck out 551 hitters on the year. That is second in the SEC. The Arkansas Razorbacks have punched out 508 in 415 innings. Y'all, they are mirror images. The Hogs field 983 as a club. LSU is at 979. But if you look in conference-only games, LSU is at 982. This is going to be so tightly contested. This is going to be great baseball for 3 games, hopefully, at the box. Get popcorn, get your favorite drink, be at the game, wherever you're going to be taking it in, settle in and devote 3.5, 4 hours to this, because these should be awesome, awesome baseball games. And you know what? The thing with this series, man, it's kind of been streaky, and that streak really favored LSU for a while. During the Palmineri years, through 2018, Arkansas beat LSU one time with Palmineri at the helm, which is wild because they had some great teams. That 2018 team, that's the one that was a foul ball away from a national championship. LSU beat that team, and LSU was far worse than Arkansas that year. But that is now flipped. Arkansas has won 4 out of the last 5 series in this matchup. Your only win coming in 2023 at home behind that great national championship team from LSU. The Tigers do lead at 77-44 all time, but the Hogs with the upper hand as of late, and there's even been a couple of sweeps mixed in there as well, those taking place at Baum Walker. All right, Let's go ahead now and dive into our pitching matchups. We'll start on Friday, game number 1. Obviously, for LSU, it will be Cade Anderson, their ace, sophomore lefty, start 13, appearance 13. Anderson is 6-1 with a 3.57 ERA, 70 2/3 innings pitched. He has walked just 19 and punched out 114 hitters. The opponent is hitting 218 off of Anderson. I will tell you what I said in yesterday's show. The one big thing I'm watching for Cade Anderson, and this start is important for him and for LSU for so many reasons. All the postseason goals that are on the line, it's a series against a top 5 team, all those things, your resume, sure. LSU has only lost one series all year where they've won game number 1. They haven't won a series this year where they've lost game number 1. All of those reasons. But for me, it has to do with short rest. So LSU had to play Saturday, the doubleheader against A&M, a condensed schedule. So Anderson pitched on Saturday. So Friday, he will pitch on his 6th day instead of his 7th day. No different than if you're going from a Friday, Saturday, Sunday weekend to a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We've seen Anderson do that twice, pitch on his 6th day. It was the Thursday game against Mississippi State, the Thursday game against Alabama. In both of those outings, Cade Anderson gave up 5 earned runs on 6 hits. Now, LSU came back and won both of those games, but he struggled, and where he really struggled was keeping the ball in the park. In those 2 outings, it combined 7 home runs given up. That tells me he's just not quite as sharp. The ball's leaking over the plate a little bit more than it normally would in a Cade Anderson outing. Is that the short rest? Maybe. The evidence supports that. You have 2 game sample with this, but they're pretty identical. Just told you in the overview there about Arkansas's home runs that they hit. Now, what might be working in LSU's advantage is, given the storms that have blown through earlier this week and the storms that will come through Friday during the day and maybe early Friday evening, and then again on Saturday during the day, you're looking at a north wind blowing in all weekend long, which should make the box play bigger. And you're looking at unseasonably cool temperatures. The low is going to be in the 60s Friday night and Saturday night. For the first week of May, that's odd here in Southeast Louisiana. So that could help and make the box play bigger and favor LSU and favor Cade Anderson there as well. On the other side, for the Arkansas Razorbacks, it's going to be ECU transfer lefty Zach Root, reigning co-SEC pitcher of the week, reigning national pitcher of the week as well. Start 13, appearance 13. Root is 6-3, a 3.95 ERA, and 66 innings even pitched. He has walked 24, struck out 92, the opponent hitting 217. He's coming off his best outing of the season and arguably his career against the University of Texas a week ago. 8 shutout innings of 2-hit ball with 11 punch-outs. The 8 innings, the 11 punch-outs, season high, and he did it under 100 pitches. He was wildly efficient. You'll see a fastball from the left side, 93 to 95. You will see a filthy swing and miss changeup that he will feature mainly to the right-handed hitters. It is absolutely an out pitch for him. And then a pretty nasty lefty breaking ball, obviously, that he'll match up with the left-handed hitters more with throughout the game. LSU is involved in his transfer recruitment. Ultimately, he chose Arkansas. That was a really big get for him. But look, even the 2 aces, the numbers are similar between those 2. It's teams on paper. It's pretty remarkable. For LSU, game number 2, that will be junior righty Anthony Ianson, the other reigning co-SEC pitcher of the week. 13th appearance, 13th start, 7-2 on the year with a 3.16 ERA, 68 1/3 innings pitched for Ianson, 26 walks, 105 strikeouts, and the opponent is hitting 213 off the Tiger righty. Coming off complete game effort at Texas A&M, where he allowed just 1 run and struck out 14. What you've seen from Ianson the last 2 weeks is incredibly encouraging, especially the team that's coming in and how potent their offense is. You'll remember Ianson early in the year, really the first 2/3 of the year, would start slow and get stronger as the game went along. The last 2 weeks against Tennessee, against A&M, he has started fast and gotten stronger as the game has gone along. And that's going to be massive for him to be able to do that again against this Arkansas lineup, which we're about to dive into here momentarily. But, I mean, Ianson right now arguably is your best pitcher. And, I mean, Cade Anderson's doing great. But Ianson arguably right now, given the last 2 weeks, I mean, he's your best. So, I mean, you really have a two-headed monster, great 1-2. You have two aces at the front of the rotation if you're LSU. For Arkansas, it'll be right-hander Gage Wood, 6th appearance, 6th start. He is 1-0 with a 3.77 ERA, 14 1/3 innings pitched on the year, 2 walks, 28 strikeouts. The opponent hits just 189 off of Wood. He's electric. Fastball is going to be 96 to 98. It is an absolutely disgusting curveball with a little bit of 12-6 movement on it that he can use the curve and the fastball as wipeout, put away pitches. He does a great job expanding the zone. The arm side run on the fastball is awesome. He has a few other pitches he'll mix in there, changeup, slider, all that. But those two really seem to be the ones that he, features most. Now, you might be asking yourself, man, he's so good. Why only the 14 1/3? Well, he got injured in a start against Michigan, February the 23rd. Missed all of March and half of April. He returned on April 18th against Texas A&M, pitched a third of an inning, gave up 3 earned, and that was it for him there. But against Florida, the very next week, they stuck him back in the rotation. 3 innings, shutout, 5 Ks, 42 pitches. A week ago against Texas, 4 innings, 1 run ball, 9 strikeouts, 57 pitches. So what you're looking at them ramping him up, you'd probably think, okay, can he get through 5 innings, 65, 70 pitches for Arkansas? And I think they would take that in a heartbeat on the road at the box from a guy they're working back. He's certainly capable. What I want to see LSU against Gage Wood, be aggressive early. Y'all, 2 walks in 14 1/3. He hasn't walked anybody in his last 7 innings. He's all over the zone. LSU, they like to be patient. They like to get pitchers counts up. I don't know if you're going to have that luxury against Gage Wood. That needs to be one that you might need to attack very, very early if you're LSU. Sunday, game 3 for both teams, TBA. You know how this will go with LSU. If they do not use Case and Evans in the first 2 games, he will start on Sunday. If they do, you have plenty of guys, Chase Shorts, Connor Ware, that can go out there and start that game for you. On the other side for Arkansas, Landon Beidelsheis has started, has been their Sunday guy the majority of the year. He's been in the rotation and definitely in SEC play has been that game 3 guy. But the numbers in SEC play, it's near a north of 6. You can look at it and go, okay, makes sense to maybe make a change there. For what it's worth, in his last outing against Texas, 4 innings, 4 earned, right? So you could see that. Now, Arkansas, where they might go, I mean, the guy with the second most starts on the team is Colin Fisher, but none of those have come against an SEC opponent. Same thing with Tate McGuire. None of those have come against an SEC opponent. Don't know if you really want to throw them in the fire and what could potentially be a rubber match in a very important series. Gabe Gackle obviously has plenty of experience starting. He moved in the rotation after Gage Wood went down. But since they've moved Wood back into the rotation, they've moved Gackle back to the bullpen, and you've seen him start to have more success in the bullpen than he did in the rotation, and that's really just strengthened Arkansas's pen as a whole. I'm still kind of expecting this to potentially be Beidelsheis. So we'll see how Arkansas handles it. As far as I know, he's healthy. So we'll see, but that's just a few ways they could go about handling this weekend. But you'll get Root and Wood, and then Anderson and Ianson. You should be treated to 2 fantastic pitching matchups in games 1 and in game number 2. All right, we're going to dive a little deeper here into the Arkansas staff and then their offense. But first, I have to remind you about Got Lit Light Installers, gotlitlights.com. You go there for your quote. What are you getting your quote for? I'm glad you asked. They are a one-stop shop for exterior lighting for your home. however you want to illuminate your landscape, Got Lit Light Installers, they handle it. Permanent outdoor landscape lighting now available, whether it's your front yard flower beds or the backyard patio, pool area, outdoor kitchen. Maybe you just want to illuminate the trees in your front yard with permanent landscape lighting. Got Lit Lights, they have you covered. They want to make you a customer for life. Remember, this isn't just install and they forget about you. No, they will come maintain the lights. Anything you need ancillary to installation with the lights, they have you covered there, and it's your design. They meet every specification of your design. Temporary outdoor lighting also available. Christmas lights in the winter, and then for your private events, weddings, wedding receptions. It's graduation season. Don't a graduation party? Temporary outdoor lighting, all of it custom design, cut to fit, never a loose light. With Got Lit Light Installers, they come, install, maintain, tear down, and they'll even store the lights for you as well until you need them next. They want to make you a customer for life, build a relationship with you. Anyone can come install lights at your home or office. Got Lit takes it to the next level. Everything looks better when it's lit. Got Lit Light Installers, gotlitlights.com. All right. A little deeper dive here on the Arkansas pitching staff, and then we'll get into the offense because that's really where that's where I really want to dive in. I like Arkansas's bullpen. I think it's really good. I mean, you have power stuff coming out of there. Gackle, it's going to be low to mid 90s, the fastball, pretty good slider. You know, if you're going to see him, but they have great depth as well. Incredible depth, as a matter of fact. I mean, you look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys with 7 or more appearances that are in the Arkansas bullpen, and that's in conference play. I'm talking about those appearances. You have 2 guys with 10. Aiden Jimenez, more towards the back end for Arkansas. Fastball, get up to 94, 95. It's a really good slider as well from the right side from him. He's got 10 appearances. That is tied for the team lead with Dylan Carter, big righty, hard fastball from him. He can extend a little bit more for Arkansas if they need out of the back end of or out of the bullpen, I should say. And then, of course, I mean, Christian Fouch, 8 appearances. That guy's going to come and throw in 98 to 100 with some sink. It's absolutely filthy from Fouch. But you also have guys like Bybee and Wiggins with 7 appearances, and it's just all power stuff. The only guy who might not show you power stuff is Will McIntyre, who somehow still has eligibility. I feel like he's been at Arkansas since, Jesus was a boy. But he's been really good in his limited action in just 6 appearances. It's a sub-2 ERA. So it's very deep Arkansas bullpen. If I'm looking at this series, I would tell you that Arkansas has a slight advantage in the bullpen, but I really like where LSU is in that spot. We talked about that in yesterday's show, and we did a whole show on LSU's bullpen and how it's emerging and why I'm actually a little bit more confident in it heading into this series. Pardon me. But I definitely like LSU with an advantage in the starting rotation. I think LSU has the best 1-2 punch in the nation. You're the only team in the country with 2 guys top 5 in strikeouts. They've both gone complete game at this point in the season. Like, Anderson and Ianson are one hell of a 1-2 punch, and they're going to get tested. And so is your bullpen, which is trending in the right direction because they're going to have to face this Arkansas offense. And y'all, this Arkansas offense ain't no joke. 316 as a team overall in conference play. Overall 307 in conference play. Both of those marks lead the Southeastern Conference. Arkansas, it goes past that. They lead the conference, in on-base percentage, in runs scored, in hits, in RBI. They're 3rd in homers with 102. They are 2nd in slugging. This is the best offense in the SEC. This is the best offense that you have faced to this point in the season. And it doesn't drop off like you see others in league. At any given point, at least 5 everyday players for Arkansas are hitting over 300 in SEC play only. That doesn't even count a guy like Carson Bowles, who's reached base in 16 consecutive games and has been in there pretty frequently as of late. He's hitting 308 in SEC play. There aren't many holes in this Arkansas lineup, if any. I mean, Justin Thomas Jr. is a guy who's probably going to hit more towards the bottom of the order. He's hitting 288 in conference play. There's no breath. And it starts with the Aloy brothers. And y'all, Vahiva Aloy should be very familiar to you. He was great last year, and he's great again. He's Arkansas's leading hitter on the season and in conference play. On the season, 376. That's top 5 in the SEC. In conference play, he's hitting 350. 17 home runs. That's second in the SEC. You're looking at a guy with an on-base of 464. Not only is he second in the league in homers and top 5 in batting average, he leads the SEC in hits with 76. And he leads the SEC in runs as well with 68. He's all over. He's going to hit 2-hole. That's where he's hit in all 49 games. That's where you'll see him. LSU has got to neutralize that guy. You keep him off base. You keep the SEC leader in runs scored off base. That doesn't mean you're going to win. Arkansas is talented and they got a deep lineup. But that is a big feather in your cap toward going, towards marching toward a victory. Keeping Vahiva Aloy off base. Easier said than done. But I will tell you, LSU at times this year has done extremely well against the opposition's best player. Justin LeBron rolled into the box and went 1 for 13 and punched out 5 times over the course of a game and punched out in some big spots, like bases loaded spots. LSU had a great plan and they neutralized him. This past weekend, I know the 8th inning on Sunday sours it, but LSU handled Jace Laviolette and Caden Sorrell until the 8th inning on Sunday. Over the course of the weekend, each of them was 2 out of 12. Laviolette was 1 out of 12 with 6 punch outs. Caden Sorrell was 2 out of 12 with 6 punch outs. They got you in the end, and it stinks. But for the majority of that series, all but 1 inning of that series, you handcuffed them. You're going to need to be able to do something similar to Vahiva Aloy. Now, then we talk about Kahio Aloy, his younger brother, who's the second leading hitter on Arkansas's team at 359, has the home run power. The thing with Aloy, Kahio Aloy, he leads the SEC in RBI with 65. He'll hit a little bit lower in the order, clean up, maybe in the 3-hole sometimes behind his brother, but more often than not, he's been driving his brother in. These two guys pace that Arkansas offense. They are awesome players that LSU is going to have to neutralize as best they can. You neutralize the Aloy brothers. You don't shut down at Arkansas's offense, but you take a big step forward into winning. That's for sure, and it's easier said than done. Again, you're looking at Vahiva, who leads the SEC in hits and runs scored, and then his younger brother, Kahio, who leads the SEC in RBI. They're awesome. Charles Davalon is another one. 350 on the year. He is second in the SEC in hits behind his teammate Aloy with 72. Those are the 3 that I'll really highlight. I do want to mention Cam Kozel, though, transfer from Vanderbilt. He's really tapped into the power. 11 homers. That's 4th on the Arkansas team. But you're looking at 5 guys in the starting lineup with double-digit home runs. So those are the 4, but really a heavy focus on the Aloy brothers because they're awesome. Like they really are. And LSU cannot allow those 2 guys to run this series and beat you because they will ruin your weekend in a hurry. Those 2 kids alone can win you a series. Like, that's how good, that's how talented they are. And I'll tell you, they're a joy to watch play baseball. They really are. I'm not going to enjoy watching them play baseball this weekend, but outside of that, those two kids are an incredible watch because they are just immensely talented and mean so much to that ball club. So let's talk a little bit more about the series as a whole and how it starts to play out. Well, I'll tell you one thing I like in LSU's favor is the wind blowing in this weekend. That will make the box play bigger. And when the box plays big, it plays really big. When it plays small, it plays really small. And then there's that nice little in-between fair that I think you saw against Tennessee. If it's playing big, I like LSU because their pitching's doing wonders right now, and that will just help you limit Arkansas's offense. Not to say they can't do it another way, but the home run ball is a big part of their game. And LSU has surrendered the second least amount of home runs in the league. It's something they do well, and if that park's playing bigger, it's something they can do extremely well. So I like that matchup. I give the starting pitching edge to LSU. I might give a slight bullpen edge, but I think that's closer to a push, especially the way LSU's pen has performed the last 2 weeks. But I like LSU from a starting pitching standpoint. I told you, I think Anderson and Ianson are the best 1-2 in America. They've each gone CG. They're both top 5 with 100-plus strikeouts in the nation. That is formidable. You have 2 aces. And then, man, if you have the luxury to hold a guy like Kason Evans, who has just been as dominant as he has been for a Sunday spot start, you should look at that as an advantage. I like LSU from a starting pitching perspective in this series, even against that Arkansas offense. Good pitching beats good hitting. It just does. That's how baseball goes. You've seen that plenty with LSU this year because LSU does have good hitting. They're just in a big slump. But I'll give you a number to watch. That number to watch is 6 for LSU and for Arkansas. 6 runs. LSU this season, when they have scored 6 or more runs, they have lost 1 game. Arkansas this season, when they have scored 6 or more runs, has lost only 4 games all season. Now, the or more is really intriguing for Arkansas because while 6 or more, they've lost just 4 games. When Arkansas has been stuck on 6, that's where 3 of those 4 losses have come. Arkansas, in fact, when they've scored 6 runs, only 6 runs, has a losing record this season at 2-3. So LSU, you need to score 6 or more. Arkansas, you can't let them score more than 6. Because if they get stuck on 6, they've shown to be beatable at points this season with that. Keep an eye on 6. And that dovetails back into something else we talked about earlier in the week. And it's the top of LSU's lineup. I want to see all 3 games this weekend, and for the rest of the year, quite honestly, LSU go back to Curiel, Jones, Dickinson as your top 3 in that order. In conference play only, LSU is 11-4 with that as your top of the lineup. Those 3 guys are hitting a combined 286, which is plenty good enough in league play facing the type of pitching you have. And how many runs per game do you think you're averaging? 6.6. I'm not saying it's going to solve every problem, but for me, it's a very obvious first step. And if you make that change and leave it, you put guys back into spots they've been very comfortable in all year, and hopefully that will lead to better at-bats. LSU has to take better at-bats. Just changing the lineup isn't going to fix it. I understand that. We lauded the 2-strike hitting for LSU this year. We've lauded, how many guys use the entire field. That stuff still has to continue and actually return in some senses. But I think getting guys back into positions where they've been most comfortable and finally finding that protection for Bear Jones again, which Dickinson has provided, would be massive for this LSU offense. I mean, y'all, you've lost one game all year when you've scored 6 or more. In SEC play, you're averaging 6 runs per game with those 3 guys pacing your lineup at the top. And why it works so well, like we've talked about, is the bottom of LSU's lineup has been so damn good this year that when they flip it over, those are the guys waiting and they drive them home. It's not the first trip, it's the second trip where you really see that top of your lineup excel. You haven't run Curriell, Jones, Dickinson in that order out as the top of your lineup since the first game of Tennessee. You won that ball game. You scored 6 runs in that ball game. And boy, in the 9th inning, when the lineup flipped back over to Curriell and Jones, that was pretty damn impactful, wasn't it? That's what I want to see. Make that change, leave it, and let's see if the at-bats don't get better and fall in line. Because guys are comfortable in that spot. So, prediction time. Obviously, LSU has to have the better at-bats, and I just went through that in our last little segment there. Runs are going to be at a premium in this series. I really do believe that. I believe in LSU's pitching staff that much that I think they can limit Arkansas's offense, especially on the road. LSU has got to take advantage of any and every opportunity that they have in this series. Left on base is going to be a big stat. Runners in scoring position will be a big stat. Runner at third and less than 2 outs, big stat. This is an Arkansas team. They don't give you anything. You might get 1 error. Might. It's even rarer that you'll get 2. Arkansas has committed 2 or more errors in only 8 out of 49 games this year. And by the way, they're 6-2 in those games. Arkansas has issued the second least amount of walks in the SEC. They're going to pound the zone. You're going to have to earn everything. And that is a scary thought. That is a scary thought. Going up against this team with the way your offense is trending. Because A&M made you earn everything. And you didn't. And on the other hand, LSU in that series didn't make A&M earn everything, specifically in that first game. That's ultimately why you lost the series. Arkansas is going to make you earn everything. There won't be gifts from DVH's boys. So when you get an opportunity, and if by the way, you get one, you get a gift, you better make it hurt. You better make it hurt. That is huge in this series because runs are going to be at a premium. I really do believe. Now, when you look at home venue, that absolutely favors LSU. Rain or shine, that favors LSU. Playing at the box is huge. I love that this series is at home. We've talked about that really all year long, that your toughest series outside of Texas and Texas A&M were at home. Bama, Tennessee, Arkansas, State, like all the teams you would figure to be your toughest opponents at home. And LSU has not lost a series at home this year. And LSU has lost 1 SEC game. I'm sorry, 2 SEC games at home this year. They are 10-2 in league play at home. That's a massive advantage for LSU. Pitching, As I said, I think the bullpens are a bit of a push with maybe a slight edge to Arkansas. They've been a little bit more consistent. But I like LSU in the starting pitching. Coaching, that's push. DVH, Jay, they're both veterans. Jay's won a national title. DVH has played for championships and has regularly had his team in Omaha. And quite honestly, they've been the most consistent team in the league for probably the last decade under Dave Van Horn. He's awesome. Coaching, push. Like, I trust each of those guys to put their team in the best position they see based on the matchups to win. So it's going to come down to pitching. I like Anderson and Ianson. I think they get LSU off to the great starts they need to. I think good pitching beats good hitting. You could say it's cliche. I think it's actually fact in baseball. You add in the home field. I like LSU slightly by like this much to win this series. 2 games out of 3. I'm on record. That's what we'll go with. We'll have full recaps for you after each game. And, of course, after the weekend as well. It's Musso at the Box, presented by Lit Light Installers. Please smash the like button. Get subscribed if you have not already. YouTube and on your favorite podcast app. Follow on social media. And be here next time for more on Musso at the Box.